this video, one of the Green Aqua founders, Attila, will show you how to build a high-tech, beautiful beginner's aquarium. Welcome to the beautiful world of aquascaping. What makes an aquarium beginner-friendly? In this video, we will show you a couple of solutions which will help somebody who just started aquascaping, has a lot of enthusiasm, but a little less experience. To begin with, it's best to choose a wood that has a lot of branches so you can put in a lot of plants in between them. Select some rocks that you can tie the wood onto. This is important for a couple of reasons. First, the wood will not float up after you filled up the aquarium with water. Second, the wood will retain its position while you maintain it. This would make your life much easier. We use the Dennerle Nutri basis, which is a base layer fertilizing substrate that contains a lot of sand, but it also contains a lot of good nutrients. And if you plan to raise the clay-based soil a little bit more, it is advisable to use a lot more base layer underneath. Make sure you don't use the Dennerle Nutri basis along the front glass and in places where the clay-based soil is not as thick, because it can leach some nutrients into the water directly, which could cause some algae issues. Use some fine filter mesh in the crevices so none of the substrates can roll forward towards the front glass. Don't worry about some of the fine filter mesh being visible from the front. We will pour in some Scaper soil on top anyways. Sit in front of the aquarium for a couple of minutes and just look at how your wood is positioned. If you like what you see, just glue the wood onto the rock. The best choice for that would be the Green Aqua liquid super glue and some paper towels. Make sure you use multiple points of gluing to have a stable fix. Using this combination will fix the wood firmly onto the rocks. The Dennerle Scaper soil is a very good quality clay-based soil which will provide a lot of nutrients also to the roots, and the plants will feel really good when their roots are going into this substrate. The Dennerle Nutri basis should be covered with at least 5 centimeters of the Dennerle Scaper soil so that the nutrients will not leach into the water column. We decided that we're not going to use any decoration sand in this case because we feel that many beginner aquascapers are regretting using the sand. If you're not careful enough, there's going to be a lot of soil particles rolling onto the sand later on. So we suggest that you use just one type of soil in your beginner's tank and leave the sand for later when you know a lot more about aquascaping. You can use a sand flattener or a brush to flatten out the soil. If you're like Attila and you don't want your fingers to get dirty from all the soil, you could use some rubber gloves to deal with the soil. This is a very practical solution when it comes to gluing plants as well. It's really worth raising the soil higher in the back of the tank, and you should support it with some stones so it doesn't flow forward. You can smooth out everything nicely with a simple brush. Sweep the excess soil off the stones or sweep it into the gaps where there isn't enough soil. We prefer to plant in moistened soil, so we use some sprayers to do that. The process is very soothing. Attila is really enjoying it. Well, as long as nothing goes wrong.
Mi történik itt?
But something always goes wrong.
De szorkod.
But let's get back to the main topics. Next comes the planting. In this layout, Attila is using only Green Aqua plants, some of which are not available from other vendors. It's worth starting with smaller foreground plants, and they should be planted in small bunches. Don't be afraid to push them in deep, otherwise they might float up when you fill up the aquarium with water. These are resilient little plants. They'll quickly push through the soil and they will look beautiful, forming a nice lush carpet. Attila prefers to plant the background plants using the tweezers with bent ends. It's much easier to grab the stems from the side with that tool. Press the epiphytic plants into the gaps or crevices of the branchy trees. Anubias and Bucephalandra types are good choices for that. When gluing plants onto the Hardscape, use the gel-type Green Aqua Super Glue. We're now testing a fantastic new product that actually prevents the glue from whitening when in contact with water. If it works, it will be available for purchase from Green Aqua, and we ship to most European countries. The more plants you use in the aquarium, the better chance of a successful start. The plants will absorb the nutrients and the excess ammonia, which will help to prevent algae. During maintenance and later trimmings, make sure that your fast-growing plants don't overpower the slow-growing ones. Light is one of the keys to their growth. If they find themselves into a shade, they won't grow, or they will grow very slowly. Attila chose two types of fish for this aquarium, the red witch catfish and the five-banded barb. However, as you can see, the five-banded barb is a very shy fish, so Attila decided to add Harlequin resboras as well, which are what we call pulling fish. As the name suggests, this is a bolder fish species, so the shyer fish won't hide as much when they see their bolder brothers acting out. There was only 15 minutes, and as you can see, all the shy fish were out swimming together with the tank mates. Using the so-called pulling fish is a very quick and effective solution to having shy guys coming out of the shade and showing their beauties. These images were shot 4 weeks after the setup of this aquarium. If you don't see the end result after 4 weeks, don't get desperate, because you will know that in the long run, these plants will fill in nicely and it will form a lush carpet if everything is okay, and you will enjoy your beautiful underwater nature. You can see that the Cuba in the foreground grew in nicely, had started to form a carpet, despite Attila planting it very sparsely. The Anubias and Bucephalandra, which are slow growers, also started to show some signs of growing. The background plant leaves have started to transition beautifully. Don't forget that the plants that come from the nursery have different leaf shapes than the ones that will show in the long run under the water. The Hardscape also looks great, and there's no algae on it. This technology has provided us with the best solution to have a beautiful planted tank in your home, and this kind of aquarium would be a good start to get into the journey of the beautiful world of aquascaping.